It's time for the one and only show. It's the Luke Howard Show. So please welcome Luke Howard. Thank you very much. Thank you. Morning. It's Friday the 10th of July. Hope everyone's well. It's Friday today, so we're getting you all ready for the weekend, of course, with music, chats, entertainment, and a whole lot more. Now, I want to apologise if the show has come out a bit later today. We haven't had very much time to record it today, so we've recorded it a bit later on today, and then we'll put it out around about 4:45 this afternoon. Of course we will. If the show doesn't come out at 10, it will always come out recorded at some time later on that day, and we will always let you know when it is and when it isn't. Hope you're all well and you're all looking forward to a lovely weekend, of course. A reminder though that the show is not on tomorrow because it's Saturday and Sunday. At the moment the show's not on at the weekends, and then once the summer break's all over, it shall all be back to normal live in September sometime. Saturdays 10 till 10:45 live, and we'll let you know all about that nearer the time. So we've got National Days today coming up as well. Lots of National Days today, and the main one I want to focus on today is, well, it's national. I would believe it's actually national. There's loads of National Days today. Would you believe? Let me have a look. Today, I want today because today is. I mean, I know it's a very special day for many National Days, and I just want to see if I can find what National Day it is today. I mean, I know it's the 10th of July, so I should be able to try and find what it is. Okay, I'm going to have a little look, and I'll look later on in the show, and I will let you know what National Day it is, of course. I mean, I don't think we're going to talk about National Days today, but tomorrow is National, because we spoke about it yesterday, but tomorrow, let's talk about, I'll tell you what I want to do. I'm going to do something different now, okay? I'll start off before we go into the news, because we're going to be talking about Johnny Depp in a moment, but first, tomorrow then, we'll do a weekend. We do today, okay, weekend, so we do it differently now. So tomorrow is the 11th, so it's National Mochijito Day. It's also National 7-Eleven Day tomorrow. It's National Blueberry Muffin Day. I don't really eat blueberry muffins, and I've never tried them before. That's tomorrow. It's also National Cheer Up the Lonely Day. Cheer Up the Lonely Day tomorrow, and it's also National Rain a Cherry Day tomorrow, and it's All American Pet Photo Day tomorrow, and then Sunday it's Paper Bag Day. It's also Eat Your Jello Day, and it's National Different Coloured Eyes Days on Sunday. It's also National Pecan Pie Day on Sunday as well. So if you are celebrating any of those days this weekend, I hope it goes well, and enjoy the National Days this very, very weekend. So let's talk about news then now, shall we? Because Johnny Depp and Amber Heard have had court hears details of birthday row. So details of arguments between Johnny Depp and his ex-wife have been relayed to London's High Court as the actor's liberal claim against the Sun continues. Mr. Depp is 57 years old. He told the court Amber Heard, 34, was very angry. She was very angry when he was very angry, actually. He was very angry when he was late to her 30th birthday party back in 2016. I mean, why would you go mad just because you was late for someone's birthday party? Really? I mean, come on, really? I mean, I don't get that at all. Why would you go angry just because you was late for someone's birthday party? Shouldn't it be them? Shouldn't it be them being angry at you for being late for their birthday party, not you being angry at them? Come on, really? Miss Heard claims that he threw a magnum of champagne at her, which he actually denies. Mr. Depp is suing for libel over an article that called him a wife beater, but the Sun newspaper has maintained the story was accurate. In April 2018, which was 2 years ago, would you believe, journalist Dan Watton was about to casting Mr. Depp in The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them film franchise. Mr. Depp's lawyers say the article was made in immorality allegations of the almost serial listeners by accusing him of committing serious assaults on Miss Heard. On the fourth day of proceedings, London's High Court has heard that Mr. Depp turned up late to Miss Heard's 30th birthday party after receiving bad news about her finances. He later retired to bed to avoid any confrontation with her, as he claimed that she displayed anger rage over his tiredness. tardiness, that's it. The actor has pushed Miss Heard to the ground and grabbed her hair during a violent row. A claim has also denied that Mr. Heard or her cohort was accused by Mr. Depp of defecting in these material bed, a claim that she denies. In a text message, Miss Heard Mr. Depp later and said he would never be able to understand how he fell in love with her. Now, this is Sasha Wass, QC. She was representing some publisher group newspapers and suggested that Mr. Depp got out of bed to argue with Miss Heard after her 30th birthday party, with the actor who actually denied. The barrister said that Mr. Depp was very distressed about the news and he had received about these finances, and the last thing you would want to be told was that you were disappointing to your wife. Mr. Depp replied, I do believe that's the last thing that any husband would want to hear. Now, Miss Wass went on to accuse Mr. Depp of picking up a magnum bottle of champagne and throwing it at Miss Heard, which also missed that which the glass was smashing, which he denied. She also alleged that he grabbed Miss Heard by her hair and pushed her onto the bed, adding that when she tried to leave, you blocked the bedroom door and you tried to grab her hair. The barrister suggested that Mr. Depp then pushed her to the ground and bumped to her chest before leaving a birthday message, which actually contained an expletive and existing the penthouse apartment. Now, Miss was then told that the court further details of events which followed described as the certification incident. The barrister said that Mr. Depp, that it came to your attention the following, that was the day of Amber's actual birthday, that the cleaner had found faces in the bed. She also suggested that Mr. Depp was later sent photographies of the faces, which the actor had found hilarious, and that there were jokes like Amber in the dumps and going on. Now, Mr. Depp also replied that it was one of the most abused, unexpected statements that we all have ever witnessed in our lives. So yes, interiorly, he said, I did laugh because it was so strange. He told the court that it was a mystery who defected in the bed, and it was not left by a 3 or 4 pound dog, in reference to couples' pets, would you believe, and one of which was said to have problems with her habits. He said, I was convinced that it was either Miss Heard herself or one of her cohort involved in the leaving human faces on there. And Mr. Depp also added that he told the court that he thought the incident was a fitting end to the relationship. He later sent a text to Miss Heard which read, I will never be able to understand how I fell in love with you. I hope your divorce goes as quickly as possible and that is as painless as possible. Details of Miss Heard's allegations of sexual violence against the Pirates of the Caribbean star were held in the private of Friday and did not enclose to the press of public. Now, the case also across of the publication of an article on the Sun's website headlined, Gone Potty, How Can J.K. Rowling Be Generally Happy? Castling a role with wife-beater Johnny Depp in the new Fantastic Beasts film. The Sun's original article was related to allegations that were made by the actress who was married to a film star back in 2015 to 2017. Witnesses, including Johnny Depp's partners Vanessa Paradis and Winnie Ryder, are expected to give evidence via video link, and the hearing is expected to last for a few weeks. Mr. Depp has been Oscar and BAFTA nominated, won a Golden Globe in 2008 for Sweeney Todd, the Damon Barber of Fleet Street, was where he was the Damon Barb of. Now, let's talk about EasyJet now, shall we? Because the sickness record is decided to job cuts now. EasyJet, sorry, I'm having a cup of tea as well. EasyJet has been accused of intending to use pilot sickness records when drawing up plans for over 700 job cuts. Now, the Bulba Pilots Union said it was unnecessary and wrong, claiming the airline was risking safety because unwell staff would report for work. EasyJet was acknowledged general accusation and it could form a part of its assessment. However, the airline said it had only put forward interior proposals to Bulba and talks were at a very early stage. EasyJet is planning 727 pilot redundancies as part of the up 4,400 job cuts. And a restriction that includes closing bases at Stansted, Southend and Newcastle airports. The airline has also blamed the collapse in air travel due to the coronavirus pandemic ahead of a start of formal talks. Bulper said the airline has told pilot restriction organisations that it will use sickness as a compliment in choosing who loses their job. Now, Brian Strutton, Bulper's General Security, called it outrageous. Outrageous! Flight safety is built on a culture of upperness and the fear of sterilization, and this is a well understood and fundamental tenet for everyone involved in ensuring our skies are safe. It is unnecessarily at the wrong that EasyJet is intending to use sickness as a stick to beat its safety crucial staff. EasyJet has in a past release encouraged pilots to report in stick of courage and if they are unfit to fly, and this is everyone's best interest. Now, he said EasyJet was planning to use the start of coronavirus period as part of the sickness tramflame when staff may have been sick or shielding themselves. But the airline rejected Bulcher's claims that we would never put forward proposals and which would compromise safety, as we have an industry-leading safety culture, as Bulper acknowledges. Safety is our number one priority and we are focused on doing what is right for the long-term health of the company and our people so we can protect jobs and going forward. And the airline has said in a statement that the airline it is still setting flat formal proposals for talks with Bulper, and white sickness might be one of the proposed criteria. The focus would be on attendance and conduct. Now, EasyJet also said that any general absentee assessment would be based on data from before coronavirus hit. The airline said that we are focused on doing what is right for the long-term health of the company and our people. Well, so we can protect jobs. And are they also going to be going forward as well, would you believe? Well, I never knew that before in my life. So, okay, let's talk about lockdown babies now. We don't usually talk about babies on the show, but we will talk about it on the show today. Now, it's been a very weird feeling to know that she technically doesn't exist, says Emma. This is what Emma Pratt said this. Now, newborn daughter Sky was born the week before lockdown began. Lockdown! Now, she is now almost 4 months old, but her birth still hasn't been registered. Now, normally babies have to be registered with the local council within 42 days of being born. Now, on 21 days in Scotland, but during the coronavirus lockdown, many councils have paused all birth regulations and are only now starting up again. It means that they're faced with backlogs of thousands of babies to register, and for the parents, it can cause practical problems. It's just annoying, though, says Miss Pratt, 35, from Accrington in Perth, Cronos, and it's something that should have been done with weeks of her being born, and we are now 4 months, they said. They said, we can't open a bank account, and my auntie had brought her premium bonds, and we had to provide her identity, which we haven't been able to do so. And that's been all cancelled, they said, but people have really kindly sent us cheques, and we haven't been able to deposit them. It's really frustrating. Mr. Pratt finally managed to book an appointment to register the birth face-to-face for next Friday, which is next Friday, next week. It's funny, though, because people have been saying that she wouldn't officially be along, and she doesn't. She adds that we would even change her name now if it wanted to, and that's crazy for the new mum, Olivia McDermott, 24, registering her son at LG's birth. Meant that the difference between continuing with her training is to become a nurse. Now, without a birth certificate, she could not apply for a childcare grant, and without the grant, she said that she would not be able to continue her course. Goodbye, dream job, she said, and McDermott from Leeds. I'm meant to be going into my final year of training to be a nurse. She said, I was just like, I won't be able to come in, she said. And she said, there's a massive shortage of nurses, and the birth certificate is stopping me, would you believe? And she also said that her partner checked the council website every morning to see when registrations would resume. She also said that she eventually got an appointment and registered her son on Wednesday. She said, now I'm able to register him and I'm feeling much better, she says. Miss McDermott adds that it has been really hard having your first baby in lockdown. Normally you have an idea in your head of what it will be like when you first have a baby with all your friends and all your family, but there wasn't any of that. Luckily, she said, I had a partner. Despite the added, as Mr. McDermott said, that she is now optimistic about the future, although she said it does cause me anxiety and the funding and not having this birth certificate. And she said, I'm just happy that they have managed to open safely, as that is so important for this time that we are in. There we are in. Now, one of the most common problems with the delay has been getting passports. Parents whose families live abroad are desired to get a passport so they can introduce their babies, of course. Now, Abigail, who did not want her second name used, wants to take her newborn son to Poland to meet their parents and elderly grandmother. It didn't even occur to me, she said. I almost took bookings last August. Yes, last August was when she took the bookings, would you believe? I couldn't believe it, last August. And she also said that